Welcome to Tables, Ladders, and Bumps, a pro wrestling podcast where we talk about wrestling promotions like WWE and AEW. We give tinfoil wrestling theories. We debate pressing subjects in the world of wrestling, all under 60 minutes. I'm Marlon. I'm joined here by Wade. We got one guy who's not with us. Pierre's not with us. He's off celebrating with his
He's alive.
family. So,
He's
yeah, he's
alive.
alive.
Yeah.
It's like uh, what was it? National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. He's like, "Are you married?" He's like, "Oh yeah, my wife. God bless her soul, wherever wherever she is." Before we get into it, go ahead and drop a soul snatcher on that like and subscribe button because we're going to be talking about NXT Deadline and the Women's Iron Survivor match, and we will also be talking about Karrion Cross. Man, this guy's coming up more frequently in our conversations for the better. This is crazy. I never thought we would be doing this. And for our 3 count, which is a 2 count today, we're talking about KO and Cody Rhodes, and also similar people to KO like Drew McIntyre and Seth Rollins. And we'll also be talking about uh
Saturday
wait,
night's main event.
Saturday night's main event. There you go. Sorry, I was gonna say Saturday Night Live. So let's go ahead and get started with our What's Poppin'.
Exactly. No pop. Pop.
All right. The NXT PLE of Deadline has the Iron Survivor match. I still say that this is the best match with stipulations or the best stipulated match in wrestling. And I got that from you, Wade, because I threw out a text to the group that said it probably is. And you said, no, it definitely is. And I'm thinking about it, just combing through any type of matches with stips, and there's really nothing else like it. So, in particular, the deadline that happened just this past weekend, the women's Iron Survivor really caught my eye. The men's Iron Survivor was good, had a lot of great people. But what did you think about this event, the Iron Survivor matches, and particularly the women's?
So yeah, I mean to piggyback off you off the best you stipulations, like I you couldn't the only thing I think you could argue would be like Anarchy in the Arena that
Hmm.
AEW does. Um or the what is it, the Casino Gauntlet match that
Oh
AEW does also,
yeah, yeah,
which
yeah, yeah, yeah.
I think they should switch the women's Royal Rumble. This is a hot take
Hmm.
to like the Casino Gauntlet, where you don't know first two people. Like if someone gets pinned, like they win. You don't have anyone show up, but it's like you're constantly you don't know how long it's gonna go. And the thing that sets Iron Survivor apart from a lot of the other stipulations, there's kind of a relentless pace to it
Hmm.
where we just had Survivor Series, War Games. Dude, it's really boring for like the first 30 minutes.
Yeah.
It drags a lot. And we kind of talked like, can they do like cut the time in half, like something, but like Iron
Yeah.
Survivor, every minute, like even the first, I don't know what it is, but like the first 5 minutes, I'm still like excited for some reason,
Hmm.
even though I know for sure there's not going to be a pin
Right.
in the first 5 minutes, usually, like because someone's going to come out. Um, but the timing of it, I don't know if the booker or the agent just does a better job
Hmm.
making and planning it out, but there's like a lot of moving parts in there that you could really mess up.
Hmm.
But I can't think of a match that's been bad.
Right.
So I like it a lot. It's way different than kind of because you're mixing kind of like, almost like Elimination Chamber, War Games, and an Iron Man match all in like one thing somehow, and it like works.
Hmm.
Um, the women's match was really, really good. I thought the men's match, I was texting you the first like three like people, you could not have better people in a like a match. Like there, it's just like Javon Evans, Nathan Frazier, and Wesley. Like it's just unreal. And
Yeah.
The one thing with that match, the men's versus the women's, they did a good job. They saved Obafemi to the end, which I thought it was going to be Axiom,
Mm, mm.
and
That would
for
be
drama
crazy.
for drama with them, and I was like, oh, that'll be sick. And then Obafemi came, and I'm like, well, he's winning. Like, there's no way,
Yeah.
like he's not winning. The women's, it could have been anyone, to be
Hmm.
honest, other than
Even Ren
yeah,
Sinclair.
I actually like her a lot. I like that
Me
they're
too.
yeah, she's really good. I think she has better character work than almost like she's funny, and I
Uh-huh.
don't think there's a single I can't think of any other like women on the NXT roster that like stick out to me that are like like Brynlee Reese kind of is like she has some like good pattern and stuff. But like maybe it's just the writing, but I don't really see she like sticks out as like she's really funny. So
Yeah. A true
um
genuine character. Like when she kept getting thrown into the penalty box, she was
yeah.
like, you could tell she was, or at least she put it off that she was sincerely upset. Like,
Yeah.
oh my God, like, are you for real? Like again?
Yeah, and she gosh, like they're pushing her faster than they pushed anyone that's like not a you mean a Julia or like like some like
Big name.
huge name that they get from
Mhm.
like a huge organization that they're just trying to like teach English to. Like other
Uh-huh.
than like of someone other than that, like she is from the indies and like talked to you before about liking her a lot, like her indie stuff.
Mhm.
But yeah, they're impressed with her and like it's much deserved because I
Well,
can't
they put her against Stephanie Vaquer for her debut match,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
Hmm.
And I think her first like match on a PLE, it might have been like a multi-woman match or something, but uh she had only been at the training center for like a month or something like
Hmm.
that, which is wild that she was on a pay-per-view like that quickly. So she's something else to me. I think she has a lot of potential character-wise that most of the
Hmm.
roster doesn't have. But I was shocked by the finish.
Mm.
Like
With
I did not
Julia?
I I've not Julia's been fine, but you have Stephanie Vaquer
Hmm.
that you're gonna be comparing them, and Stephanie is just like she
Yeah.
should just go to the main roster,
That's what I
realistically.
think is going to happen.
Yeah. So what did you think of the finish? Because like I was shocked that it was Julia, even though I said anyone can win.
Oh, I thought that at least Stephanie was going to tie it. So it could have been a time management thing. And they went with plan B versus plan A. And I feel that Julia is deserving of it because they've been hyping her up for the past 6, 7 months, right? But like you said, it could have been anybody. And Stephanie about to tie it had me in a whirl for a bit. Like I thought she was really going to tie it. But it makes sense to be Julia because I feel that she's going to dethrone Roxanne, and more than likely Stephanie are going to go to the main roster. Just speculating.
Yeah, I because Stephanie's English is I feel like maybe I've just seen more sporadic things. I feel like her English is a lot better than Julia's too.
Mhm.
Um not a lot better, but it's better. I think she but going from Spanish to English is a lot easier than Japanese to English in my
Mhm.
opinion. As a linguist, no, I'm just kidding. But yeah, it's yeah, I just feel like she's ready.
Yeah.
Like you could have just do the thing you do with Shinsuke
Hmm.
with the translations, and you could. She should have a WrestleMania match. She's good enough.
I agree.
Like I, this is gonna sound bad. I don't want to see another Naomi match. Like I like she's not had one match I've liked. Basically, the one she had one with Bailey and Tiffany Stratton in a pay-per-view
Yeah.
that I thought was really good, but she looked the worst out of all three. But that's
Yeah.
but and yes, Tiffany always nothing Naomi does looks like it actually would hurt
All right.
to me.
Even
But
taking the bump.
yeah. Yeah. I it's It's just, but yeah, you could just put plug and play with Stephanie Vaquer or
100%.
Roxanne. Either of them would be it. Even I mean, I don't even want to bash on Naomi, but she's getting pushed kind of hard, in my opinion. Like she's always in the kind of hunt in some way, and you have like even Stephanie Vaquer not being able to speak English. Her promos in Spanish are better than anything I've ever seen Naomi do.
Her
Uh,
ring presence and her flow, her cadence in the ring is crazy.
yeah,
So good.
she's
The
like I would say top four on the women's roster as a whole, with her
mhm.
ability to like have a presence. Like I would put, I'd have Io Sky above her and Rhea Ripley, and that might be it of people
Mhm.
that are actually wrestling right now. I
Mhm.
can't think of anyone else. Like Charlotte's hurt, but Charlotte's terrible on non-pay-per-view, so I'm not gonna. I would put her above Charlotte.
Yeah,
So she needs to be moved up.
I agree. I agree. Again, this is your PSA to watch NXT if you don't. So much good young talent coming out of there. It's cheesy, it's corny,
A lot
it
of
is
cake.
still a lot of it's like a freaking it's like the
It's a bakery over there.
I was gonna say it's like the NATO. What's the thing where people meet in Geneva? It's like the Geneva Convention of bakeries. It is
Yeah.
wild, absolutely crazy. Apart from that, watch NXT. When you see them do well and they come up to the main roster, you'll be well known and well versed about their work. You won't be scratching your head at the Royal Rumble when they make their grand entrance or when they make a surprise attack on somebody. So watch NXT, Women's Iron Survivor. So good. So good. Love that ending. All right, what
They
do you got for what's up?
no, they legitimately have a really good women's roster and they book women's wrestling better than they do any other better than any other North American wrestling organization in my opinion. It's about 50-50. The women get a lot of storylines. They have big like blood feuds that have nothing to do with the title.
Exactly.
They
Yep.
treat the women as they even should be treated. That roster has a lot of good women, and it's impressive to see. I like the experience, and Marlon, you do this really well, where you're like, it's like you're watching one of your kids grow up. Like, oh, when they go to the main roster and start doing well, like a Lyra Valkyria, where like she's over, and you hear everyone doing the woo thing, like
Yeah.
like it's exciting to see uh them kind of get in there. Tiffany Stratton, I got her briefcase back here. We're representing NXT all the time, but you guys should
That's it.
definitely watch. It is a way different vibe,
Hmm.
but it's fun. So it
Yep.
knows what it is, and it doesn't
It
try to be anything else.
it's well aware of what it is.
And you got the best tag team in the world, in my
Yeah.
opinion, on
Dude,
NXT by
we could go
far.
on about that. Heck
Yeah.
yeah. The best commentary team.
An entertaining commentary team.
All right, all right. What do you got for your what's poppin' for this week?
I gotta talk about Final Testament. Uh,
Woo!
and I gotta shout out. A lot of people hate on Final Testament and Karrion Cross. He was kind of like a joke for a long time. But I will just say, just from engagement on like our videos, I don't know if you've noticed this. Our most watched video that's not like a like thing from a live show is Karrion Cross, like a segment about us talking about Karrion Cross being like awesome. So, and it's like not even close. I think that
Damn.
800 views, which like for us is a lot
Yeah.
for a clip for something. It's like significantly better in the last like I think there's yeah, it's wild. So that clip is like one of our best clips and I I've always been a big Scarlet fan, no matter even like something about and Marlins doesn't like Scarlet's look quite as much as me. Like it is, I'm all about it. But Karrion Cross, since he changed character and all that stuff, and um it's funny because like, and I brought this up, he changed basically because of the Wyatt Six. He can't do the weird spooky stuff kind of
Yeah.
anymore, and he kind of has to be a weird like edge lord guy that's like kind of a douche, and he can actually put his personality into the character now,
Hmm.
and it clicks. So I like, and they won somehow. I do not. I was haven't they beaten the Wyatt Six 2 times in a row, right?
Yeah. Or at least they beat their ass that one time.
Oh, that's right. They just beat him
Mhm.
up. I think they
Yeah.
tricked him or something. Yeah, okay.
Yep.
So they've gotten the upper hand. Well, like they're gonna lose the feud. Maybe. I don't know. I'm kind of over the Wyatt Six
I got to dissect that one a little bit, how I feel about them.
because
I need to see more. Uh,
they need to do more than with it. Because
they need to do
there's
more.
the way the presentation is right now.
Hmm.
And like I think Karrion Cross and Miz together are freaking hilarious.
Hmm.
You got
I think they're
Paul
definitely outshining the White Six right now.
and the Wyatt Six has way better like in-ring people. And I'm
Hmm.
an in-ring person. Like I care about in-ring probably the most out of the three of us on this pod, right? You would
Hmm.
probably say like
Hmm.
because I like AEW the most. So
Yeah.
like I'm more of a like I care more about that, but I don't Joe Gacy is really good in the group. Um I mean really Uncle Howdy is the worst in my opinion in
Hmm.
that group. As a wrestler. Like just for me, it probably is hard wrestling with that weird mask, but I mean, the Beast Mortos wrestles with a bigger mask that's crazier and he's doing like backflips and stuff. So I
That's
don't know. I'm
crazy.
just like I'm not they need to do something with the Wyatt Six, but I want to see more with the Final Testament. And
Yeah.
I don't even care for AOP really at all
Mm-mm.
anymore. So like it's just Karrion Cross, Scarlett, and The Miz. Like I'm all about those three. I like them a
Hmm.
lot.
Yeah. Yeah, same. Just to see the transformation and the residual effect of Karrion Cross across the roster. Um, I mean, he broke up the New Day.
He broke up the New Day. Shinsuke's changed his gimmick like 3 times as a
Yeah.
bad. Like he did turn into a bad guy after.
Yeah.
AJ
AJ
Styles.
Styles,
That was
nowhere
like
to
a
be
thing.
found.
He turned into a bad guy after that.
Yeah.
All of the feuds he lost and the things happened. So I don't
It's
know
like,
what his thing is with the Wyatt. He never said anything about the Wyatt Six, really, other than he wanted to fight him.
well, didn't they come after him first? The second set of tapes and videos was like about him, and then
It was like
Karrion.
after the Miz.
Yeah,
Uh,
okay.
they were
Okay.
going just for the Miz.
Is that's right. That's right. And
Uh,
then Carrion put out a tweet saying you've outplayed your or like you overstayed your welcome or like you exposed yourself or something like that.
yeah,
Yeah.
he hasn't predicted anything to happen to them though. Where
Hmm.
like that's what he did in all the feuds that he lost, but the things did happen.
Hmm.
So I don't know if he's somehow gonna win this feud. You could have him win the feud and just boot the Wyatt Six over to SmackDown, which I think they should do. I'd be more interested to see them interact with people over there, but I don't know. I this was supposed to be about Final Test, but I just think I like them and I think they're funny and I'm intrigued. I don't feel anything about the Wyatt Six.
Yeah, same. I want more from the Wyatt Six, if anything. I want more action from especially the minor players or the other people like the Joe Gacy's and the Dexter Loomises because they have good in-ring spots or like crazy move sets, but I don't get enough of it, and where we don't see it enough.
It should have been a tornado tag match too.
Absolutely.
Seeing those
Waiting.
like freaking warlocks and stuff and they're like tagging in is the dumbest
Yeah.
thing ever. You know,
Yeah.
like a spooky ghost person that's like in the outside. I'm like, come on, just like have it be a tornado tag match like
Every
they did
time.
with like I don't need to see a tag, dude.
No, I don't.
Let's not have that. Let's just have it falls count anywhere. Like,
Hmm.
and no one's gonna care. It's not like you're gonna have some like hardcore like old school wrestling person that's like, no, I want to see these spooky people tag in.
Right. No.
Like,
I need a buried alive match between these two factions.
I'd be cool with that.
Yeah.
Um, they should really be going after the Judgment Day.
Oh, that'll probably be next once the Judgment Day starts like disintegrating.
Yeah, because the I would like if they went after them after Final Testament beats them, and we had Paul Ellering come back. I thought he like was written off TV forever, to be honest.
Hmm.
So I don't. He threw anthrax in his face or something. I don't know what it was. Was that supposed to be anthrax? He got Miz with it
I
too.
know, I saw that.
It was like Miz probably got the worst of it, which I like too, storyline wise, because they're just like whatever, Miz, and he's like actually trying to save him and stuff. It's kind of awesome.
Did Miz react to it?
Yeah, he was like, like choking.
No, that was good. That was good. All right, what do you guys think about the Final Testament, Karrion Kross's new role, the Miz's new role with this whole thing? Do you feel right now that they are better than the Wyatt Six? And also, what do you think about the women's NXT Iron Survivor match, or did you even watch Deadline? And why aren't you watching it if you aren't? All right, let's move on to the three. Nope, two count. You like my daughter got pressed on
Yeah, I
nails,
was
and
like,
I
what
feel
happened there?
no, my
I thought
daughter got pressed on
she
nails.
closed the
I'm a big
door on your hand.
Caleb Williams fan.
Oh yeah.
No, no. So let's get into the not three count, but the two count, but the three count. For today's three count, I want to bring up a parallel that could bleed into your three count subject. So the wrestling community, the online wrestling community, is talking about how Drew McIntyre, Seth freaking Rollins, and Kevin Owens have a similar character arc at this point, where they are tired of or just going after these guys who were against Roman last year and now are helping Roman this year. And they find themselves, Kevin, Drew, and Seth, find themselves as the good guys in this situation. Well, it looks like they're turning heel. Well, at least turning more heel. Kevin's already turned heel, and Drew turned heel a while ago. Do you think that they may form some type of anti-bloodline or vigilante type group that would be like these justified uh hypocrites? I can't think of the word, but like their actions would be justified as far as taking out baby faces. Do you see this happening, or do you see these, or do these parallels make sense to you?
Yeah, like a deadly alliance.
Yeah.
That's my favorite Mortal Kombat, by the way. Oh, that's a great game.
Yeah. It's like one of the worst rated Mortal Kombat.
Dude, it's so good. I was so good. That was the one I was the best at. I had all the chains down. I could freaking. Is it one of the worst rated ones?
It's like definitely not talked about.
It's just like
Anyway,
it's just like how I think Tokyo Drift is the best Fast and
that was
the.
oh
Anyways,
wow.
no, I do think that there's a. I don't know if all three will join in a group together.
Mhm.
I I'd be cool with it. It kind of makes sense because the people they kind of hate are kind of lumped together as well. So I do think we're gonna go into I don't know what's gonna go on with Seth for Mania.
Hmm.
Because do we think it's gonna be Punk or do we think it's Punk and Gunther? Because shouldn't Gunther have a belt?
Yeah, you're right. Seth says, I mean, Punk says he doesn't want anything to do with anybody who doesn't have a belt.
Well, he's
So,
gonna have something to do with Seth in the meantime, but I don't know if
yeah.
that's gonna be a side mission. Um, yeah. Um, KO. I think it ends up KO and Sammy at Mania,
Hmm.
which I'm here for.
It's cool.
I do want KO to beat Cody.
Hmm.
I think there's about a 30% chance, which 2 months
They're
ago, I would have thought there was a 0% chance.
yeah.
So I'm feeling decent about it. Drew McIntyre, he's going with Sammy now. What the hell does he do? I don't know.
You think Drew goes to SmackDown and goes after Bloodline?
That would make more sense.
So Drew versus I don't know if they could have enough if they even have enough time for Drew versus Roman, but
No, Roman they ain't doing that match. It would be Roman and like Jacob Fatu.
mm,
He may get freaking solo.
you think Roman's gonna get Solo?
No, hell no. No, I mean Drew McIntyre might get
I guess.
solo.
Oh, got it.
Or you have I think one of the better matches you could do, Drew McIntyre and Chad Gable
That could work too.
over on SmackDown. I think both might move over.
Hmm.
Um, kind of make Drew into a good guy, I guess, in that situation. But um, I don't know. I don't even know who he would go again. He's gonna have a Mania match.
Did he have his time with Jey Uso already? Drew?
He did not. That's a good Mania match. I mean, they've like beefed. I think he beat up Jay and stuff.
Right,
Like when Jay came back and no one else. That was kind of what made him turn heel was
right.
Jay. But if
Yeah,
they circled that up, because I think they had
yeah,
some stuff, but none of it was on a pay-per-view, I believe.
right. Yep. It was mostly on Raw.
So I would be good with that, actually. And I'm not a Jey Uso guy, but that's
Hmm.
a match that I think they could have a good match.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I mean, if you think about who they would rival with, that would keep them, I would say, in the heel role. Like somebody said, if it's Seth versus Punk, they're gonna cheer for Punk.
some always will,
Hmm.
even if Punk like legitimately like murdered someone's child. Like
Right.
there'd still be some. There was people cheering after he talked about Punk like doing all this bad stuff, and there's like still like
Yeah.
15% of the people. Even in AEW, he had people who were cheering for him when like he was fighting with the Young Bucks and punching people backstage. So like you're always gonna. He's just there's always gonna be people who support Punk,
Yeah.
even if he shows you every single flaw he has IRL. Um, so I don't know. I thought Seth had a better like I like Seth's promo better than Punk's personally, but
Hmm.
Punk came off as the heel to me in that.
Interesting, interesting.
He was very
Yeah.
condescending.
It
So
was
yeah.
time to put the second stringers back on the
Yeah,
bench,
that
right?
was like oh man, I'm like, what a dick.
He got his though at the beginning when he was like, "You want to talk about the Blackhawks?" And Jackie's like, "No,
Yeah.
let's talk about something more relevant." So,
I mean that's deserved though. No one cares about Blackhawks. No offense.
hey man, they're doing terrible this year. So it's all good. It's all justified. All right. So let's get to your three count. I'm just curious what you think about what you're going to talk about too.
I wanted to kind of ask you about what you think of the like overall like card and event of Saturday night's main event because it's 5 matches now, to my
Hmm.
knowledge,
Hmm.
and I
Yeah.
think it's only supposed to be 2 hours.
Yeah.
And if you think most of the pay-per-views for WWE are 3 hours and 5 matches,
Yeah. And two, like an hour and a half worth of advertisements.
that's fair. Okay, well, you just
So
answered my question of how they're well, they're still gonna have advertisements. It's on NBC.
it's on NBC. Is it also on YouTube?
I don't know about YouTube. I know it's on Peacock though
It's on
too.
Peacock. Okay. So my thoughts, Saturday night's main event, I think they're running off the nostalgia of this. It really is for like I remember watching Saturday night's main event when I was a kid, and it really was a like a spectacle to watch on the weekend. So I'm hoping they draw from that and really make it. They're obviously expanding like to national broadcast television, right? So they have an intent to like lure people in to cast a wider net for a bigger audience. And I hope they're successful in doing that because wrestling is so mainstream right now and it could be even more so. As far as the the card goes, we got 5 matches. We got Gunther, Finn, Damian. We got Cody, KO. We got Io, Liv. We got the women's U.S. title tournament,
Yeah.
and we have Sammy versus Drew McIntyre. I'm probably interested, genuinely interested in about two or three of those matches.
Which
And
one?
two, the
I know
women's,
one of them. It's KO and Cody. So what's the other one?
yeah, KO Cody, Intercontinental, not Intercontinental, U.S. title tournament, and also the women's championship match. Those are the ones I'm genuinely curious about.
Now for the women's world championship match, are you intrigued in the outcome or the match itself?
I like to see Io work. Doesn't matter
That's
against who.
okay. That's fair. Yeah, I like Io a lot. Io is by sheer just force of her being awesome,
Yep.
she's kind of pushed herself back into the picture. Like she's like the like Rhea's like a supernatural force out there.
Hmm.
Like people are just obsessed with her. Uh but Io's just like sheer amazingness
Hmm.
has the crowd get more up for her than almost any other person
Yeah.
wrestling. Um
Arguably the best talent in the women's roster. If
I don't
not
even think it's
the.
arguable.
Okay. And then, well, arguably the best wrestler in WWE. I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean,
It's a big run.
Cody's
It's
pretty
big.
great.
Cody's great. We should do a top 10 wrestlers in WWE, women
Yeah,
and male and female combined.
because Rhea has some really high highs, but there's some low lows in there for me
Hmm.
as
Hmm.
well. And Io has no lows for me. Uh,
Right.
even the worst like tag match things that I've ever seen booking wise,
Hmm.
somehow she shines.
Yep.
So, uh, yeah, I'm intrigued with that. The women's thing, are they doing the first match? Because they have the semis. Is that on SmackDown and then the next
That's
day
what
they
I'm
do
gonna
the other?
assume.
Okay.
Hmm.
I'm excited for that, more depending on who's in the match. Actually, you know what? It would be good wrestling no matter any of those four people.
Who do we got?
You got Chelsea Green or Bailey, Meechin or Tiffany Stratton. I think you're going Meechin and
Michin versus Bailey.
no. I think they're doing Chelsea Green.
Oh yeah, yeah, for sure. And they had a feud a few months ago.
That Chelsea lost. That's the only thing that's holding me back a little bit on thinking of Chelsea.
Hmm.
Putting it on Bailey is a smart choice for the first
Few
champion with the
moves. Yeah.
belt.
Hmm.
But yeah, I'm intrigued by that match. Io's awesome. I She has to win that belt,
Hmm.
especially now that you teased her and Rhea
Hmm.
at Mania.
Hmm.
Who else like that belt's been just kind of
Locked up.
locked up with no other than like her feud with Rhea. There's
Yeah.
been nothing. You
Nope.
had like a thing with what's her name from LWO, but uh
Selena.
yeah, Zelina, but I can't think of like any real matches
Hmm.
or feuds at all.
Hmm.
And she's had the belt since almost Mania. It was like 2 weeks after Mania that she won it because Becky won it and then she won it from Becky,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So maybe it was a month, but yeah, regardless, like I mean, she's had it half the year. I can't remember a single feud other than the Rhea one.
And Selena. That's it.
And the Zelina one wasn't a feud. So I'm just kind of like great year for Liv, but I'm over it.
Hmm.
And I just want to see her and Dom do weird stuff. Uh,
Right.
I'm cool with Raquel as her person, but I do think Damian Priest being added to that match makes it like significantly better for the
Hmm.
men's world
Hmm.
championship. Do you think so?
Well, did you like? I'm torn because I liked Gunther and Finn's first match on Raw.
Yeah, I thought it was all right.
Yeah, so I did want to see more, and I thought this was the chance. But they'll show out.
And the issue with the first one, in my opinion, the only flaw in that match was you had Finn as a babyface and he's been a heel for like 2 years.
Hmm.
And I feel like they had the dynamics correct finally, where like even though Gunther's shouldn't be a babyface, he's just a badass and he could play one
Yeah.
just because people are gonna root for him because he's awesome. So I think they actually had the dynamics set up better, and now it's like a weird thing, but I think the match itself will probably be like Gunther's freaking amazing in triple threat matches.
Hmm.
So,
Yeah.
and I think Priest and Finn are best when it's multi-man because their tag
Mm.
stuff is really, really good.
Yeah.
Um, and yeah, I think it'll end up being a much better match.
Yeah. Is that the match you're looking forward to the most?
Hell no.
Which one
Uh,
is?
it's the Cody versus Kevin Owens.
Yeah.
That should be a really good match. I love Kevin Owens' character. His
Hmm.
thing just like rolling up the window on what's his name? I legit was dying for like 5 minutes. I like rewound it and watched it again. He's like he's like what? He's like he
Puts
just
his window up.
oh man, that like made me laugh so hard. I was dying.
I
Oh
left when he was like, "Get out of my rental car."
yeah, my rental vehicle.
Get out of my
Yeah.
rental vehicle.
Yeah, it was
He's like, "What do you see when you look in the mirror?" I see a handsome man who's right.
he is right. Like there's no which is what makes it a good heel.
Yeah,
So you're supposed to they don't
supposed to
need to
believe it.
yeah, they don't need to be freaking Freddy Krueger where you're like, oh, it's because I'm an incarnation of evil. Um so you need to like slightly relate to them.
Yeah,
Um yeah. So yeah, yeah, that Sammy and True I don't care about
yeah,
at all.
same.
At
I
all.
know it'll be a decent match. But yeah, I don't.
It'll be a Sami Zayn babyface match.
Yeah, Super Sammy.
Yeah. He'll get
Hmm.
like fatality like 500 times and then they should have Drew win though.
That'd be great. I'd love that.
Um yeah.
I'd love that because I think he needs it too coming out of Hell in a Cell.
Yes.
Hmm.
To reestablish his character, Sammy you can have him
Hmm.
lose all the time.
Yeah, totally. And people will still cheer for him.
Yeah, except for
Hmm.
me. Uh
Yeah.
I think he's an
Although,
amazing wrestler too. I just his babyface character really grinds my gears because I always think he's like he reminds me of Rudy kind of, and
yes.
I hate Rudy like a lot. Like I like my dad liked that movie his whole life, and then I'm like, didn't you think he was like you don't think he's annoying? And like think about if you were on that team and some dude that sucks is like begging to like take your spot basically and has no rhyme or reason to like and my dad was like rewatching he's like you ruined that movie for me. He does like you would be so annoyed with that guy. And he reminds me his character like it's just so like white meat baby face. There's like
Yep.
so unflawed that it's flawed.
Yep.
So and his whole thing of just getting back with Roman logically makes zero sense. It's like what redeeming quality has Roman shown you? Zero. Have you seen anything?
Roman has not done a dang thing other than give his cousins an extra share of voice. That's it.
Yeah.
That's
What
it.
do you say? Yeet once.
Yeah, or you let Jimmy
He
call the
like helped.
play.
He helped Cody,
He helped Cody,
but it was
but
because Jimmy kind of made him.
yeah, so not much, not much to work
No,
with.
there's
The Ro-
nothing.
the Roman Reigns apology tour needs to start.
Yeah, I'm kind of over Roman's character right now.
So we'll see. I still prefer him as a heel. So
He is a heel.
okay,
Like, there's what has he done that's a babyface? He's shown zero remorse,
yeah, no apologies.
no apologies. He's not a bit. He's a heel. He's just against
a
a
more
heel
a
that
more
the
deviant.
crowd doesn't like.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because the guy's not more devious than him.
Right.
So, I don't know.
We'll see. All right, that is our 3 count for tonight. Let us know what you guys think about this coming Saturday night's main event. Are you stoked for it? Is it whatever? Although I will say, and I wanted to say, this is like, unless I have recency bias, this is the most effort I've seen WWE put in towards the end of the year
Oh,
that I
yeah.
have in a long time. So,
Decades.
decades of, so they didn't even have a PLE in December. So, there was that long ass gap from Survivor Series to the Rumble. So yeah. So what do you guys think about Saturday night's main event? Are you looking forward to it? And what do you guys think about the whole character arc between Kevin Owens, Seth Rollins, and Drew McIntyre? Are there similarities and are they justified? Let us know in the comments. All right, before we wrap, I got a discussion question for you, just something to think about. And again, we can talk about this more when Pierre gets on here. Who do you think? Here's my question to you. Who do you think, which wrestler has had the best career comeback in 2024?
Yeah. So I was thinking of a wrestler, and I'm going to choose a group,
Okay.
and I'm going to say the New Day. So the New Day's been irrelevant for what, 3 years?
Yeah.
Since Big E got hurt,
Since
whenever
Big
that
E
was.
got hurt. Yep.
They've
Maybe
kind of
lose.
just been there. They haven't won a tag title since then, I don't think.
Hmm.
They've been pretty irrelevant. They're just there.
Hmm.
So this whole storyline is one of the better storylines WWE's had this year with them, like we assumed it was going to be Woods versus Kofi.
Hmm.
I'm not a huge fan with them piping noise in yesterday, but that's neither here.
Oh, with the booze?
Yeah, it was like so obvious.
Yeah.
Like the sound person just like slowly move it up. Like it shouldn't be like like you know what I mean? Like it was the most obvious like piping in of sound ever. So but I think it's totally revitalized the New Day because they've
Yep.
been
Yep.
completely irrelevant. Um and I feel like Xavier Woods was having a pretty good year and kind of showing himself as a whole even before this New Day like tease
Hmm.
split thing. And Kofi's just been there. Like he's had nut like and then this is revitalizing him
Hmm.
as a character in my opinion. So I would have to say them. If I have to pick a single person, it would be John Moxley. Uh
Okay.
where like I'm kind of into his character finally.
Yeah.
I didn't like him for like basically a year.
Hmm.
Um uh and other than that, I guess you could say Bryan Danielson, even though he was murdered.
Hmm.
But he
Hmm.
finally won a title in AEW and had like a cool reign with it, even though it was short. But like, yeah, there's an obvious one that I'm not gonna pick because he's had 5 matches, so I just can't pick him. So I think you're gonna choose that as your person,
I mean, it's been remarkable what CM Punk has done as a character and his in-ring promos. Been pretty damn good.
I guess.
Um, I mean, just thinking about where he was last year this time. Well, wait, no, he was back in WWE.
Yeah.
But prior to that,
You mean when he's punching people in the
when he was
face?
when he was choking and punching people out.
Yeah.
Um, just the way WWE has been able to let him run with it, and because he's kind of in a bad situation, right? If he's not in WWE, he really has nowhere else to go, right? If he's staying in wrestling.
Where would he go? TNA?
Exactly.
New
So
Japan?
New Japan. So it's like he
Either of
has no
those.
choice. He has no choice but to kiss the ring and be good and do his damn work and not cause any commotion. So I'd say objectively speaking, it would be CM Punk. But as far as like career goes, I would say yeah, the New Day is definitely up there as far as like revitalizing and getting new life in their career.
I think there's an obvious choice that I just thought of that is much better than Punk. That'd be Drew McIntyre. Even though I was like, I don't even know what he does. His whole heel turn, like that is the most popular Drew has ever been. Ever. Like it's not even close. Uh
So, so I don't know if it's a career comeback for him though, because I say he's been pretty relevant the past couple of years, being in the
but
IC title picture. He's always had good booking.
yeah, I mean he lost to Roman
Hmm.
at I can't remember the pay-per-view.
Clash.
Clash.
Hmm.
And then he was kind of like just there until he turned heel, in my opinion. Like he
Hmm.
was kind of like in the picture, but there was nothing of
Yeah.
value, which this is some of like you could argue with me, well, like part of this is because of Punk. But
Hmm.
I think Drew was a bigger force in that. I think Punk did a good job. I was hating on him, but like Punk is definitely someone you can consider for this. But it's something Drew's never done. Has he ever been a social media person? No. Now he's
No.
like the best social media person.
Troll.
Um, when's the last time he's really been a heel too?
Yeah, I don't know.
Before his comeback to WWE?
Probably. Yeah, Sam Roberts calls Drew McIntyre like the MVP of the year for the company. Because
Yeah.
again, mutually, how he helped carry that Punk storyline. The beating that he took in Hell in a Cell. Um, him getting cashed in on, putting
Yeah, that was
Damian
sick.
over.
Yeah.
Um, so I mean, he's technically another world champion for this year, right?
Yeah.
Like he's technically won the belt this year. So Sam Roberts says that he is the MVP of the company. I don't know. I have to think about that a little more,
I mean, it
but
would obviously be Cody, but yeah, like it's he's up there though. Like
mhm,
it's any other year in WWE other than like the last 2 years, it would obviously be him, in my
mhm,
opinion. Where like
mhm,
right now you could well one could argue, well, what about Jey Uso?
mhm.
Like there's been a whole like arc of Raw that revolves around him.
Yeah,
So uh, yeah, you could even say Jey Uso
yeah.
because he was just a tag wrestler,
Hmm.
and I made fun of the main event thing
And
forever.
he lost a lot of like he didn't capitalize on the opportunities that he had to win belts, right? So they kind of just like kept him kept him under. And when he got over, it was like perfect timing for winning the IC belt, right?
Yeah.
He had chances, right? And then people will get pissed, like, why are they burying him? Or when is this man ever gonna get a title? He sells the most merch, he's the most popular, most searched for, whatever. So I think that is an argument for Jay's career to have a comeback coming out of a tag.
Yeah, and I think he's done a really good job with the stories where like I would say if you ask people in the beginning of the year or halfway through, it would either be Punk would be the obvious choice, Drew McIntyre in my opinion, because of it's just a completely different character than he's ever done.
Hmm.
Um or LA Knight. But I think LA Knight's last since he's had the belt it was not good. And I think that's kind of squandered what anyone would say with him for this year. Um,
Yeah, I think we should talk about LA Knight in the future too, because it's weird. For some reason I'm more relieved that Shinsuke is US champion than LA Knight is. So um I don't know.
yeah, I still can't believe he won that match. That was
Yeah.
so suddenly. But it was like, wait, did I miss something? I rewounded. No, that just until my thing skipped 5 minutes of the match. I was like, oh, it ended. Um, yeah, I can't really on the women's side, I can't think of anyone. Can you?
Career comeback
Yeah.
for this year, Liv Morgan.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that's a good option. Because she was
Hmm.
hurt,
Hmm.
and then what'd she do? Come back at the Rumble? I think
Yep.
that was her comeback.
Hmm.
And she was final, whatever, two. I wasn't it final two at the Rumble,
Hmm.
final two at, um, uh, Elimination Chamber,
Mhm.
then finally won the title again when she beat Becky after a
Battle Royale.
yeah, Becky won from Battle Royale.
Yep.
And then yeah,
Yeah, I mean,
Liv is as good of an option as anyone.
yeah. She's on Pat McAfee. She's on the Saudi Hall of Fame now, for the winning the first trophy over there.
Yeah.
So I'm just saying, like, WWE's propping her up and allowing her to be
Oh,
outside of
dude,
the
Nia
WWE.
Jax. Nia Jax is the obvious pick.
Career comeback?
She was kicked out of the company.
Yeah, you're right. And we saw her on her one of her first Raw returns, right? And live. See, weren't we there?
I think
When it
so.
was around the time when she came back, and she hasn't ended anybody's career yet. Arguably
She's been like very safe in
could
my
have been
opinion,
Lyra Volk.
other than hitting people in the head with a chair. But yeah, I mean the Lyra thing I think was on purpose. I think they're
I
like
know, I
Lyra's like
know.
I have a really strong sternum, just slam onto me. I have I have very flexible bird bones. Go
Bones,
ahead and land onto
exactly.
me.
My bird bones are malleable.
Yeah, I have the
So,
wishbone that's like impossible to break. That like you're over there fighting with your sibling. Um, yeah, I don't. Yeah, Naya, I think is as good of a choice as Liv.
yeah. Well, let's leave it up to the viewers. Who do you guys think has had the best career comeback as a wrestler in 2024? We want to know. Share in the comments. And I believe that is our show for today, right?
Yep.
All right, guys. Thank you again so much for listening to Tables, Ladders, and Bumps. We're trying to get to 500 before the end of the year, 500 subscribers. So if you like what you hear, if you hate what you hear, share it with somebody and let them know. Tell them to subscribe too. Drop that soul snatcher on that like and subscribe button. All right, guys.
We'll take
Thanks again.
500 likes on this video too. Like I wouldn't
Yes.
mind that either, but
Yes, yes, yes. Let's do that as well. All right, guys. Thanks again for listening, and we will see you again.
peace.